So, going to start our today's lecture. In the last lecture, we have discussed what is web development. We have seen different front-end languages of web development. We see how we can create our database and how we can connect our website with the database. So, in today's lecture, let's assume that we have created web pages. We have deployed, before deploying a website, we have connected our website with a database, as I showed you in the last lecture. Now, in this phase, we have to test the web pages. So I will told you some different tools, and we will also test a website just to show how we can create test plans for the website and how we can test the web pages. So the question is, what is testing a web page and why it is important or essential? So for testing a web page is important just to ensure that the end user will be satisfied with our final product and there is no issue with the user experience. Now, let's discuss some reasons why web page testing is important. So the first reason is just to ensure that our end user is satisfied. For user satisfaction, we have to test the user interface, the database connection, just to ensure that everything is working. And during testing, if there is any broken link, if you remember, we use anchor tag for embedding the links in our web pages. So if there is any broken link, during testing, we could easily identify that link. Then compatibility issue means we have to ensure that any website or any property or component should be work across all the different browsers, devices, or the operating system. So this is our main goal, just to see whether our website is compatible with each and every browser or not. Then identifying the usability or navigation issue means you have to ensure that the website is easy to navigate. The user can easily find the things they want to find. Then functionality test. So we have to ensure that all the website functionalities is working correctly, means their scope, what is their expected outcomes, on which devices we can use that site, like if it is working well on desktop as well as on mobile and also on tablets. Then usability testing. Usability means how easy we can use the website. Then here we can perform some navigation testing, the layout testing, and the outcome can be the user can navigate and use the site. So let me show you how we can test our website across different browsers. So we have a site that provides us this ability to check the different properties of HTML, CSS to see whether we can use them on different browsers or not. Okay. So the name of the site is Can I Use? So here what I'm going to do, I am entering a CSS property, like let's enter Flexbox. So after entering a Flexbox property of CSS, we see that which browser is supporting this one. So we can see that different versions of Chrome are supporting this property. Different versions of Safari are supporting this property. They are saying that if it is not supported by Safari 6.1 version, we can use this prefix with that. So Edge is also supporting that. Firefox is also supporting them till 28 to 127. So this is how we can check the compatibility of different properties using. Now let's suppose if we want to see if any image format is supported by the browser now. So if you remember or if you know, we have different image formats. Like we have PNG, JPEG, JPG, but the newly invented or the newly used format is Webpack. So, so they also give us the explanation of what is WebP image format, that it is an image format that supports the lossy or lossless compression. So it also provides animation. So mostly it is used in our website. So you can see that Internet Explorer do not support. So it doesn't support. So if you have some images in the format like Webpack, then they are not going to support them. So, but all the other browsers are supporting it. So in this way, you can we check the cross-browser compatibility using this tool. Now, we have more things you can test here. Just like a tag, we can test here. If I write H1 here. So this is, we know that HTML element for giving headings, like the major headings we give in H1. So you can see it is supported by all, but not by Opera Mini, not by UC browser for Android, not for QQ browser. So they are different, but you don't have to ensure that a property should be uh, work on each and every browser, but mostly on the main browsers like Safari, Firefox, Chrome for Android, Safari for iOS, Samsung Internet. So some of them. So other that you don't need to check that. Okay. So on this side, just to test the browser uh, compatibility, we use this website. Okay. Whenever you are going to run your website test, you should run your local server on Intego. The reason is that mostly on our main window, we install different kinds of extensions there. So that's why it will take much time to load. So it's better to test your website using Intego window. So you have to click on inspect for the Lighthouse testing. So here you have to click Lighthouse. And when we click here on Lighthouse, so it will provide us different options that you want to test for the desktop first. You have to check the navigation. You have to check the performance, accessibility, the best practice, and SEO. After that, you click on this analyze page. So it takes some time to generate a report. So after completing the test, this plugin will provide us the details of. Now you can see that after running this test, it shows that our accessibility rate is 96%. That is very good. Our performance rate is 99%. We use the best practices and our SEO is 100%. So now let's see which areas provide us the best practice. So let's move it a bit. So you can see that time takes only, this is the time for blocking time. You can check the layout shift time and the largest contentful print. So this is very minimum time to load. So that's why our performance is very good. Then these are some things that we should take care that uh, text compression is not available. We have not compressed the text. It is 39 kbs and images are not properly resized and there is a back for cache restoration. So these are some things that we have to improve. Now, potential saving of 8 KB. So this is showing us how we can save more memory just to change this code. So if we click here on our accessibility features, so they're saying that the 4% where we are lacking are just because we don't have a background and foreground color contrast ratio. So we have to set this contrast ratio. Then everything is perfect there. We have passed 24 audits. Like here, if we click here, we can see that these are all the audits we have passed. So this is the best practice that we have used. So if we click here, that we have about the APIs, there is no third party cookies. So you can check these things. No browser error is there. Everything is working smoothly. So in this way, you can check. So if we click here on SEO, so our structured data is very valid because we have used everything clearly. So in this way, you can run your lighthouse test on your website. So this is how we test our website. So let's suppose you have test your website, you know how I can check the browser compatibility, how use we can run the lighthouse test to see how our website is doing in the terms of accessibility, performance, usability, SEO. You have seen different types of testing. How you can do your functionality testing. Let's suppose you have completed your website. So you will test each and every feature one by one, whether they are working well or not. So if there is any error, it will be logged into the console, and from that console, you can check that errors. Now, UI testing means we will check the graphical interface of website is according to the design specification or not. So we have already tested in the accessibility testing. So instead of uh, running a separate test for usability then for performance, it the lighthouse testing makes our work more easy because if we run a lighthouse test, then it will generates the report for every kind of test like performance, SEO, accessibility. So we don't need to run each test separately. Then we have compatibility testing. I have told you that how you can test the compatibility of your browser just to ensure that it is working well across every browser. Like you don't need to run check the compatibility for each and every browser, just for the different main browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Edge, and also for the devices like iOS or Android. So this is how we run different tests. Then we have also checked the performance testing means like how much load time it takes and how much responsive is our website. So I have told you that we also have generated the report for that. So this is how these are all the different types of testing. Now the second thing is to create a test plan. Now you have run the different tests. You know how much compatible my website is, how much time it takes. You have generated the report, everything. Now the second step is to create a test plan that provide the detail of each element that you have been testing or you have tested. What is the scope of that test means at uh, where you have applied it that test, at which place you have applied it that test, and what was the expected outcomes, and what is the original result that you get after the testing. So you have to write all of that in detail. So this is how you will create a table. You will list all the elements like you have test the links, you have test the contact form, you have checked the navigation menu, your browser compatibility, and the load time. Then you will write the scope where you will run this test, like test on the links of the home pages, like for submission. So you will mention all of this here, like you test on Safari, Chrome. You will write all of these things here. Then the expected outcome will be that all the links should be worked properly. The form should submit the data properly with the validated work. And then should also mention the device you used for testing, like the desktop or mobile. And in the overall outcome, you will write that all links are functional. Functional means all links are working properly. Your form functions as expected. So in this way, you will create a test plan for your website. Then if you have any questions till now, let me know. After that, you have created this test plan. Okay. Now you have to conduct the user testing. Means just in the documentation. What is documentation? Whenever we deliver our website to our end user, so we create a manual for them, like how the original product will look like after completion. So the manual will contain all the information about that. Let me show you that. So this is a real world documentation for a real project. So you can see that in this we explain the timelines when we will complete our project. Then after that, will be the requirement for that project. It is written there what modules we are going to deliver them, like this. So everything is mentioned here. You can see the cost for that project is also calculated by using some functional point analysis, that what will be the external cost, what will be the total cost for that project. You can see that this is the cost analysis, like what will be the total cost for that original project will be. Then after that, let me show you. These are the test scenarios that I showed you, that our customer shall log in the system. In this way, we can create the use cases for that. So let's move towards the test plan. These are all the diagrams that you may study further. So I think the test cases are not mentioned here. So these are all the diagrams that we include in the documentation, that how just to explain the functionality of that application. So you can see this is how the original documentation is. So this is a use case, or we can say that a test scenario, that the use case where the user can sign up. User must enter the valid information. So in this way we can create a test plan for the website that we have just created. We can create the test plan for any kind of application, whether it is a web application or it is an Android application. So in this way we do all of these things in a professional manner. First of all, we will plan our website, we gather the requirement, we create the UI, the backend is ready. Then after that, we do testing, create such kind of document in terms of creating, whether you are creating an Android application or the web application. Then after this user testing or creating the test scenarios, we have to conduct that test. So I have shown you how you can prepare the test scenarios. Then how you can recruit the test user, means you can take a bunch of users, a group of users, just to see, then allow them to use your website. Then how they are using the site, how they're perceiving the content, if they're comfortable with the UI, if the UI is user friendly for them. So in this way, by noticing their behavior, you can conclude that your website is working well or not. Then you can also conduct the test. Like I told you that you can observe the users as they are interacting with the website just to notice if there is any issue or there is any point of confusion, if they're feeling any kind of trouble while navigating the website or not. So you will check that. Then after that, you have to analyze the result. Means you will compile the feedback that you get from the different users just to identify if there is any common mistake, if there is any common issue. So if yes, then you will address that issue and then you will identify it during testing. So in this way, you will conduct the test and you will implement the test. Okay. Then testing a website. Now we have some more reasons that why we should test a website. Just to enhance the user experience. We want to see whether the user is enjoying our site or not, if they are facing any difficulty or not. If yes, then we can change that as soon as possible. So, in a good manner, we can change that. Then, after that, we have to ensure that accessibility means it should be accessible by every kind of person, even the people with any diversity. So I told you how you can check the accessibility. There are different tools, there are different websites that allows us to check the accessibility. Then the functionality means the features and the services. You have to ensure that the functionality that you have included are working well. So in this way, you can create a full-fledged website. So till now, we have learned how we can create a web page. We have learned HTML, then CSS. So have you visited that website W3 School that I refer you to learn that more properties for HTML, sorry, for CSS and more elements for HTML? Good. So you might learn a lot of things from there. There is also a built-in compiler. So if you have learned a lot of properties from there, you might be able to create the web pages by yourself. So furthermore, I am going to tell you that how you can deploy your website on the main server. And even without writing the backend, how you can submit your form automatically. We do that testing. So we test different browsers like Chrome, Safari, and Edge. Now, another way to test the browser is like we will run our website on these different browsers. So Safari, not but Chrome is already installed in our operating systems. So we can install the other browsers just to test our site. Then we also perform device testing, like we test our website, we run that website after deploying on smartphones, on tablets, just to see if it is working well or not. Then we test the responsiveness that the things are working well on different screens or not. So these are all the main reasons that we perform testing. Up till now, we learned in the front end languages. We learned how we can integrate the database connection with our VS Code. How we can do the testing. In the coming lecture, we will learn how we can deploy a website to the main server. Okay. So hope so today's lecture is clear.